Welcome to the final episode of the Worst of the Riot podcast for 2023. That's not a year in review episode.
What a year it was. What a great year.
What a year. So coming up in the coming days, you'll get to hear our Worst of the Riot for 2023, some of our highlights from throughout the year. But first, today's highlights, which include a crack pipe at McDonald's getting it shut down.
We also talk about bringing a fake date to a holiday function.
A lot of questions about that. A lot of questions. But apparently a lot of people do it. And so we get to that in the show. Also, California doing something with their wastewater that Isaiah is in full support of, it seems.
But many people across the country, I guess, think it's disgusting.
That's the impression that I get. Yes. A good show today, as always. Our final real show of 2023. The other ones are real too, but they're highlights up from the highlights. So enjoy. Merry Christmas. And we'll catch you next time.
Happy New Year. See you guys next year.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
When you flush a toilet in California, that water can go a lot of places, you know? Could wind up in farmland, helping farmland. That's helpful, right? It could wind up at an ice skating rink near Disneyland. And soon, it could end up in a faucet in your sink in California. Regulators in California approved new rules earlier this week to let water agencies recycle wastewater and put it back into the pipes that carry drinking water into homes, schools, and businesses.
And this feels like shocking news, I assume, to some.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would recoil at seeing that headline.
But then at the same time, you got to think they're just filtering it out.
Well, they're going to clean it, yeah.
Yeah, so what's the difference?
That's the recycling.
What's the big hullabaloo?
So you're telling me that if I told you now the water that you're drinking used to be wastewater,
I wouldn't even be surprised.
you wouldn't
I
bat an
assume
eye.
that's how we did it.
Apparently not. So you're totally okay with this. It doesn't gross you out.
I assume this is what we've been doing the whole time.
You know what they say? You're not supposed to crap where you eat. But you're saying drink where you go to the bathroom.
Well, let me give you a little reality check here, Hudson. There's children today that would die for water.
Yeah.
And we're complaining over here that we're going to clean it and drink it again. The people in California, they're hyped up for this. All the drought and stuff going on out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I was going to say, most people, you give them 5 bullet points to describe California or things they know about it. One of them is probably going to be drought. They're always out of water. So, from that perspective, it's just resourceful is what it is.
Yeah, I assume this is what we were already doing. I assume the water just went around everywhere and just
not just in California,
it
everywhere.
just got everywhere. I assume this is what was happening in all parts of the country. You flush your toilet, it goes in through some sort of pipe that's like a filtration system, just comes through the water
And
fountain.
what happens to that filter?
Gets cleaned. I don't know how it works. I just assumed it was all going around.
I mean, I guess in some cosmic big picture sense, it probably is. But now it's going to be a much more direct process.
And you can tell when water's bad.
You can tell by the taste.
You can tell by the flavor.
Are you a water snob or do you do tap water?
I do tap water.
A lot of people, maybe because of your thought process of thinking this is already what happens anyways, maybe they just feel that that's why they don't drink out of the tap anyways, because they're afraid.
See, I'll drink out of the tap. I've drank out of the tap here.
Yeah.
And we don't have great tap water. The flavor isn't great. But I'll still do it.
Because you don't want it to go to waste.
More out of just ease sometimes.
So you don't have any sanitary concerns that, like, you I guess it's not even that that this is happening, but you have such implicit trust, it sounds like, in the filtration process.
I do, yes, I completely do. I only go tap water based off flavor. Like my parents' tap water, fantastic. That's like what I drink my whole life.
Is that well water?
Yeah.
Oh, well water, yeah.
So
now
good.
we're talking.
But here, and at my house, my new house at home, we don't have great tap water, and so I'll only drink it if I really need to.
Yeah, city water, blah,
Not nearly as good.
not as good.
But this is good for California. This is an idea
Yeah.
that you, yet again, I thought we would have come up with this a while ago.
Use every part of the buffalo, apparently.
The people
What's
in
going on?
California should be upset that we didn't come up with this earlier.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't think of a filter. We've barely got any water over here. We didn't think of a filter.
They're just dropping it all into the ocean.
What are we just getting rid of? Like, one-time flush, there it goes. There goes a gallon. We could have used that.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
A lot of people feeling a lot of pressure to bring a date home to mom and dad. A new survey says 73% of singles feel the weight of familial expectations when getting together for the holidays.
That's a lot of singles.
You ever felt that?
Never.
Would you ever ask somebody who wasn't actually your girlfriend to be your girlfriend for a date to a family get together so that you seemed like you weren't single?
I think of a lot of the things you could do for Christmas, that's probably the dumbest thing you could do.
Well, surprisingly, 40% of people say they've done it. 40%.
Why? I don't understand that whatsoever. It makes no sense to me. You're going to introduce your whole family to this guy that you're not dating. You're going to pretend you're dating him. You're going to have to entertain him the whole time, or him or her the whole time. And then guess what? The next time you see your family, what are you going to do? Bring somebody else?
Yep.
The following time you bring somebody else, and then all of a sudden, people aren't saying, oh my gosh, Isaiah's single. Or, oh my gosh, Claire's always single. They're going to be saying, oh my gosh, Isaiah's just a revolving door. He can't hold down a woman.
Your theory holds some water because while 40% of people admit they've asked somebody to pretend to be their date for a family get-together, 53% say they've been a fake date for a family get-together. So that means...
Is that worse? Is it worse?
You cook the numbers on that one. That means people are doing it more than once, helping out other extra folks over and over again.
If somebody asked me to be a fake date, though, I would be a great fake date.
Yeah, no, you could do it.
But at the same time, I'm not putting myself in that situation. I'm going to volunteer to get introduced to a girl's entire family. That's like the toughest part of a real relationship.
Yeah, that's right.
Of your actual girlfriend, when you have to go to her family Christmas and get introduced to everybody and awkwardly sit there and they'll ask you questions. That's tough enough as is.
Try to not look like a fool in front of the dad.
Then
that's the worst.
I'm gonna do a fake version of that.
Yeah.
That I get nothing from. I'm getting nothing there.
Oh, there's come on, there's got to be a trade-off.
Oh, I'm getting something? What am I getting?
I don't know.
Getting a free meal?
She owes you one.
Love that. Not worth it.
I have so many questions about this. Actually, I think we need to bring it back. And let's put this out there. 40% of people have done this. Have you ever done it? Have you ever asked somebody to be your fake date? Fess up. Or have you ever been a fake date? 877-2-RADIO-U. And I've got a few more questions I want to ask too coming up next.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
40% of people, according to a survey, have asked somebody to be their fake date to a family get-together, to kind of keep up appearances, seem like they're not single, to impress the parents, I suppose. Isaiah thinks how would you describe it? Stupid?
I think it's just a bad idea.
Dumb idea.
I think the risk versus reward here is wild.
But now I haven't seen anybody as of yet that has texted in saying that they've done this. They don't want to admit it. But
Admit it.
Susanna gets at a good thing that I was going to ask, and that is, so 40% of people say they've asked somebody to be their fake date. Susanna says, Isaiah, have you ever seen a rom-com? The person you bring with you will eventually fall in love with you.
That is how it works in the movies.
And so that was going to be my question. Of the 40% that have asked, what percent did it with that actual intent in mind?
Well, you had to think that one of the two people did. The other person didn't.
50% of the people that agreed to it, in other words.
See, I'm thinking either the person who's asking actually is interested in you,
Yeah.
or the person who's asking thinks of you completely friend-zoned, and the person on the other side is like, I still got a chance.
Yeah.
And then when they get asked, they're so excited. They're like, this is my shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to go meet your family. I'm going to get out of the friend zone. I'm going to do it this Christmas. And then you get there, and you leave, and you've never felt more in the friend zone than right then.
That's what you think actually happens.
Yes.
That's the real life.
That's the
version
real
of
life
it.
scenario, yes.
I also was going to ask, 40% of people overall say that they've asked somebody to be their fake date for a holiday gathering. What percent, we don't have a breakdown, what percent of that do you think is guys versus gals that have done the asking?
That's a good question, because I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
I feel as if there would be more pressure on the gals, right? That's where the pressure is.
I think so too, yeah.
Because even if, like, who's putting pressure on a guy to bring him, I guess maybe
It could
so.
happen. It could happen.
Both sides.
But yeah, see, yeah, and you're right that the gals may be less likely to, they think, I can just ask him. He's my buddy. He's my friend. I trust him. He's not interested in me. But
Gremlin.
He is.
Absolute gremlin he
Probably
is.
is. Yeah. So yeah, out of that 40%, I bet you it does skew towards ladies that are more likely to ask a guy to be their fake date for a family get together. And then finally, again, we don't have the breakdown. 40% overall have asked somebody to be a fake date for a family holiday get together. What do you think the prime age for that is my last question.
Well, it's going to be somebody who has been single for a while.
Mm.
You wouldn't do this if you were like 20 years old because there's no pressure on you. You're still young.
Right.
You're in college, whatever.
Mm.
I'm thinking it's got to be between the ages of like 27 and 34.
You think so?
I would say so.
Where you're like young enough that you still want to impress your family, whatever, but also young enough to still be stupid. Like 34, you might be at the tail end of like, well, that's a dumb idea, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Why do I care? Why do I care, you know?
And how many 34-year-olds have like a friend that would do that for them?
It's apparently 40%.
Yeah, 53%. 53% said they would agree to it. They have agreed to do it before. See, I think for guys, it's younger. If you're 20, you want to impress. You might not even want to impress your family. You want to impress your friends. Like, yeah, this is my girlfriend.
It's my
I just want
girl.
to have somebody. Don't want to seem like I've been striking out at college. But yeah, gals, it might be older. You're getting, later 20s, and you're thinking, people are starting to wonder why it's not working out for me. I got to impress them. So
I think bringing a fake date's crazy. I think you would be better off just saying that you do have a girlfriend. She just couldn't show up.
she's from Canada.
She lives far away.
Goes to a different school.
Maybe you guys will meet her next Thanksgiving
You wouldn't know her. Yeah. She's traveling actually.
because
right
she's
now.
a traveling doctor.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hi there.
Worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
You know, one of my possibly controversial opinions about Christmas is that the lead up to Christmas is better than Christmas Day.
Controversial.
You buy that?
Some parts of it. The season is a fun time.
Yeah. Like Christmas Day, I don't want to say it's a letdown because you get a lot of even as an adult, I still love getting gifts. It's always fun giving gifts always. It's usually fun giving gifts to most people to see the look on their face and how they're happy when, there's a lot of great things to love about Christmas Day. The day off from work, the football a lot of the time, like a lot of good things. But I think what's better than Christmas Day is all of the lead up to Christmas, how we get a month, some people even more, of like looking forward to Christmas, getting ready for Christmas. Sometimes it can be stressful, but part of it is knowing that when you get to Christmas Day, like there's going to be a payoff. There's always the payoff on Christmas Day.
There's always a payoff.
Yeah. There's always at least a gift waiting for you, a good dinner probably for most people. And you get like a whole month to just look forward to one day. And so, but the flip side is when you look forward to something for so long, then your expectations are so high. I think that's why I think the lead up is better, because the day just can't possibly live up to the expectations. Although for many, they say it does. All I'm saying is December is an amazing month because you have so much to look forward to for a whole month, something to keep you going. Like, oh, if I can just make it to December 25th, in this case, if I can just make it to Christmas weekend, it's smooth sailing. It's going to be amazing. Having that something to look forward to, that anticipation, that's huge. The anticipation of something amazing happening. And that is actually kind of what Christmas is all about. That's what the original Christmas, when Jesus actually came to earth, that's what it's about. It's about looking forward, having hope when things don't seem very great. Every month, every December, when it rolls around, even if things don't seem great in a lot of aspects of life, you know you've got Christmas to look forward to. When you have a relationship with God, even when things don't seem great, you know Jesus is going to take care of you. He's got something for you to look forward to. And so you can get through the difficult times because there's something better coming. That's what Christmas in many ways is all about. That's what a relationship with God can do for you. If that's something that you want, ask for it. Say, hey, God, I want to know there's something better coming. I want to know I can count on you even when things get dark and bad. I want to have something to look forward to. Jesus will give that to you. If you want to know more, check out RadioU.com/free gift.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
We have a story here that actually affects the OG Radio U in Columbus, Ohio, where a McDonald's in Columbus, Ohio has been closed, temporarily at least, because a customer supposedly found a crack pipe in his McDonald's meal.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, I'll say.
It's no good.
Yeah, that's probably one of like the top 5 worst things I feel you could find, right, in your meal.
I would say so. I mean,
It's
how
up
do you
there.
where do you find this?
A crack pipe in your McDonald's.
I know, but I'm saying, like, it's not like it was like that's not like a fingernail where
Yeah.
it could easily slide in your burger.
Uh-huh.
Like, where is this in? Like, they just put that in the fries or what? With the nuggets?
see-
Like, it's not like it would just, like, slide in there and you wouldn't notice.
I don't know much about drug paraphernalia, but the way I picture it is the individual in question that had this crack pipe was wearing a shirt with like a pocket on the breast, a breast pocket, and they had the crack pipe in there, and they like leaned over the bag and it fell over.
And it
into
just slid.
That's how I picture it.
It just slid into
Yeah, it fell out and they didn't realize.
the little thing of fries.
Yeah.
And so you had all your fries and then just a crack pipe.
Oh, you know what it probably was? All the fries, right? They're in the big vat of fries. And then they get the scoop and then scoop them in. So the individual with the breast pocket with the crack pipe in it probably leaned over that fry thing.
Fell
and it
in.
fell out. Then somebody scooped it up into the fry bag.
Yes.
Yep, is what definitely probably happened. That's, according to my investigation, my sources, that's what I'm expecting. So that McDonald's, if you're in Columbus, it's on Harrisburg Pike, I believe. It's been shut down temporarily. And this might be a shock. There were other health code violations in addition to that.
No, actually.
Yeah.
It sounds like an
That wasn't the
upstanding
only-
business.
Wasn't the only issue this McDonald's had once an investigation was opened into it.
And then if you're the person who finds this in your McDonald's bag and,
Yeah.
and your fries,
Mhm.
you just walk up and what do you say, you know?
Apparently, this person just posted it on Reddit.
Oh.
They didn't go back and ask for a refund.
What? You for sure could have went in there.
Yeah, you got to
totally should have. You
You
could
got
have
to
had a
march
lawsuit.
right back in, and then the guy goes, "Hey, I was looking for that." You know, he's the crack guy.
Yeah.
It could have killed 2 birds with 1 stone with that.
You could have
So,
for sure gotten some money for that.
Yeah, big mistake. I
Huge
mean,
mistake.
The person who found the crack pipe probably still some gift cards probably coming their way. Would you think?
Oh, you have to think so.
Although now they'll have to go further out of their way because they can't use it at their normal McDonald's. So the hand strikes and gives a flower, I suppose.
Well, you think about this. This McDonald's, I mean, now people are out of jobs.
That's right. The individuals.
Everybody else gets fired there, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe they get moved. They get moved to a different McDonald's.
Maybe transferred.
You think you get transferred?
Or are they all guilty by association? Or is it one of those
Everybody's
things?
out.
Nobody gets transferred until we find out who did this, and nobody volunteers to say, yes, I was the one with the crack pipe. So
I think that person might just step up and just be like, it was.
you think they will step up?
I think they might. I wouldn't surprise me.
I think if you have a crack pipe, you're not volunteering any information.
But I think at the same time, if you somehow are just losing it at work,
Yeah.
maybe you don't care as much about your day-to-day life.
Yeah, but you do care about like going to jail, I would
Guess so.
think. So
Wasn't that a great riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.